service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. One call to build.com.
Winter has us all looking for a warm place to land. While your vehicle gets left out in the cold, even when garaged, there's a list of cold weather-related issues like cold engine start damage, batteries, or frozen suspension. This is Martin from Al's D&I Repair. If you're hearing noises or maybe something just feels off, it may not be a ghost, but it could be a warning. Give us a call. We'll find the issue before it leaves you stranded. Most vehicles, most years, and most countries. Al's D&I can fix them. Check in at Al's D&I or online at alsdniautorepair.com.
Sometimes it's just a whoops, sometimes it's a oh no, and sometimes it's an all-out ah! Whatever it is, J&J Truck and Auto Body can take care of it with traditional methods or paintless dent repair because they are a PPG certified and iCar Gold class shop with ASE certified technicians. Plus, they work with your insurance company, saving you time. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
J&J Truck and Auto Body, 100%.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Again tonight in Dayton, opening round of the NCAA tournament. First four games tipping off at 6:40 Eastern Time. American takes on Mount St. Mary's. Winner gets Duke on Friday. Then it's Xavier in Texas. Winner of that one will face Illinois on Friday. Will Wade of McNeese is expected to be the new men's basketball coach at NC State. Once the Cowboys' NCAA tournament run is over, McNeese face Clemson in the first round of the NCAA tournament tomorrow. Clemson gave head coach Brad Brownell a new contract that runs through the 2031 season. Dodgers beat the Cubs 6-3 in Tokyo, sweeping the two-game series. LA hit 3 home runs, including one from Shohei Ohtani. Free agent quarterback Aaron Rodgers is not going to the Vikings. NFL Network says the team is sticking with J.J. McCarthy as their number one quarterback. Houston Texans are signing tackle Cam Robinson. Veteran safety Jordan Fuller is signing with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Wednesday edition, back and ready. It is the Nate Brown Show live. Thanks for making this show possible. Here we go. Fox Sports Radio, from high school to college to the pros. We got you covered. Great guest lineup on this Wednesday on the eve of the state boys basketball tournaments, on the eve of March Madness. I got one game right so far in my early bracket. I'll miss the rest of them, but I got one game. I told you North Carolina last night. Look out. Everybody banging on them, hitting them, smacking them. North Carolina just smacks San Diego State, and the first four continues tonight. Let's get going. It is always a great day in South Dakota, even though springtime is coming, we think. A little chilly. We're back at it. It's state tournament basketball time. You know the weather's gonna change at times. Let's get this thing going. The Nate Brown Show is on, and a great guest lineup tonight brought to you by Forever Lawn of South Dakota. Great local company. They serve the state across both sides, East River, West River, with this artificial grass. It's the best lineup. It's specific for all of these categories. Sports grass, turf fields, canine grass. If you have dogs, this stuff is perfect. Golf greens. You're a golfer. They'll put a golf green right there in your property, right in the backyard. Putt and chip, you've got it. Playground grass for the kids and landscape grass, maintenance free. You put it in, environmentally sound, and you don't have to work on it all summer long. Take a look at the Forever Lawn lineup, the best lineup of artificial grass in South Dakota, ready to install across the entire state. Just Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Get on their project list. for 2025. The Forever Lawn guest lineup on the Nate Brown Show tonight, this Wednesday. Let's go to a bracketologist, brand new guest on the show. We haven't had him. He's really good. College basketball analyst and one of those bracketologists. Is that an official job title? Can I? I'd like to become a bracketologist. His name's Rocco Miller. He's going to break down the bracket one more time. So get out your brackets. We're going to pick some upsets, some teams that he likes. We've had a lot of great guests this week. And now we'll go with Rocco Miller, our first bracketologist. He's live from San Francisco. Rocco Miller's coming up. National sports writer in tonight, Jerry Brewer. Really good coverage from Jerry of the tournament. He's covering it for the Washington Post. Jerry Brewer on tonight. Let's go South Dakota. State tournament basketball starts tomorrow. Marcus Traxler is the sports editor at the Daily Republic. He's covering the AA tourney in Rapid City. We'll preview AA and more. Marcus Traxler's in tonight from the Daily Republic, and we'll go to a head coach interview tonight. Kyle Courtney, Rapid City Christian head boys basketball coach. Now, Rapid City Christian's been at this A level. They made the state tournament last year. That was their first time in the Class A. They made it to the semifinals, got hit by Hamlin, and now that was the eventual state champ, right? Can Rapid City Christian go that same path? Can they get by Hamlin in Sioux Falls at the Premier Center? Rapid City Christian has to get by Clark Willow Lake first. We'll get an interview tonight from Sioux Falls, the Rapid City Christian boys program head coach Kyle Courtney on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Rapid City Christian 20-2. I've got to make my picks tonight. State boys basketball tournament picks. Why not? That's how we're going to get things started. But let's get you on tonight. If you want to join us, Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch, 605-720-1067. Remember the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Stop in tonight, 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Also in Brandon at 2 locations in Rapid City. It's the Pizza Ranch. Take the crew, take the team. You're in town for the tourneys. Get to the Pizza Ranch, locally owned and operated. The best buffet, no doubt. So call us tonight on the Pizza Ranch hotline, 605-720-1067. And one more way to get in touch with the show, Barron's Wilson text line. Text the show directly, 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson text line, 605-720-1067. Welcome in. Not only are we live on Fox Sports Radio, a reminder, welcome you on X, watching live right now. If you follow the show, you can do that at Nate Brown Show on X, Twitter. Follow us and watch us live digitally and also on YouTube. We are live, The Nate Brown Show, our YouTube channel. All right, I'm ready for this. I said I'm going to start this thing up, so why don't we just do this right now? It is South Dakota High School basketball tournament time. And I got to make my picks. Let's get this party going here tonight. Let's start with Class B. As God intended, Class B is in Aberdeen. We know that. And I got to say, what an atmosphere in Aberdeen. Who's going to bring home the State B boys title? There's some interesting teams. Let's start with who's going to get to the semis. I'm going to take the number 1 team, Castlewood. Castlewood's been tested. Just 2 losses on the year. I don't care. When you go 2 losses in Class B basketball, you're really, really good. So I'll take Castlewood, and I'll follow my same advice for Wessington Springs. Wessington Springs, 21-2. I'll take them into the semis as well. Down to the bottom of the bracket, we're in the Class Bs, Aberdeen. I'll go with St. Mary's. They got a high-scoring offense, really skilled on offense, 22-1. They'll beat Aberdeen Christian. So give me St. Mary's into the semis at the Class Bs. And then the nightcap tomorrow at the Barnett Center, Viborg Hurley taking on Freeman. I'll go with Viborg Hurley and Shane Warwick, first-year head coach, but a South Dakota High School basketball guy I've known a long time. Does a great job. So I'll go with Warwick's Viborg Hurley team into the semis. Class B semifinal night, Friday. Castlewood, Wessington Springs. I got to roll with the number 1 team. Castlewood's been very, very good. I'll take them again. So Castlewood to the state title. I'm going chalk. I'm going favorites. I know you got to be careful with this, but I'm going favorites. Castlewood to the state B title game. On the bottom of the bracket, it's a little bit harder. I think St. Mary's and Viborg Hurley is going to be a battle. That is going to be a battle. And here's the storyline. Do you know this? Shane Warwick, the head coach at Viborg Hurley, his son's playing at St. Mary's. So if my prediction's right, you're going to have a semifinal coach against his son on the other team. I don't know if we've ever had that. So it'll be Walker Warwick for St. Mary's against Shane Warwick, the head coach of Viborg Hurley. Who's going to come out on top? I'm going to take Shane. I'm going to take the coach. I'm going to take Viborg Hurley to beat St. Mary's. Tight one Friday night in Aberdeen. So my State B boys title game. Castlewood against Viborg Hurley. And a little surprise. Viborg Hurley's going to beat them again. They beat them earlier this year. People thought that was an upset because Castlewood was number 1 in B. I'm going to take him again. Shane Warwick comes back to coach high school basketball. He starts at Viborg Hurley, and he takes them all the way to the State B title. Give me Viborg Hurley knocking off Castlewood Saturday night in Aberdeen at the Class B boys tournament. Okay, there's that breakdown. All right. Now I feel very confident about my next one. Very confident for the Class A boys tournament. This is at the Denny. You've got a big favorite, and I'll take them to win their first game going away. Sioux Falls Christian. Sioux Falls Christian is going to fire up that first game tomorrow. I think they might blow the doors off of Groton area. So give me Sioux Falls Christian in a little warm-up. Tomorrow, they'll win game 1. Into the semis. This is a tough one. West Central takes on Lennox tomorrow. I'll go with the Trojans. West Central beat Lennox earlier. It was close. It was a low-scoring affair. Lennox is good, has some good athletes. I'll go with West Central tomorrow. Bottom of the bracket, Hamlin, the defending state champs. That's the team that took down the mighty Sioux Falls Christian Chargers last year. I'm going to go with the Hamlin Chargers this year to win their first game over an upstart Hill City team. How about Hill City making their first State A boys basketball tournament in history? Congrats to the Rangers, but they have to play Hamlin, a juggernaut, right out of the gate. So give me Hamlin tomorrow, beating Hill City in the night game. And one more, Rapid City Christian. I told you these guys are good. They're 20-2. I really like their athletes. They can shoot it. They're not the biggest, but great defense. They like pressuring. They like getting up and down. Rapid City Christian, I think, wins their first game tomorrow night against Clark Willow Lake. So give me the Comets into the semis. We're going to have very similar games as we did at the State A last year. Semifinal night, Friday, State A's. Sioux Falls Christian against West Central. I'm rolling with Sioux Falls Christian. I know this is a theme. I'm rolling with Sioux Falls Christian. They're the Liam Neeson of State A boys basketball. Good luck, everybody. Sioux Falls Christian's going to win Friday night over West Central into the title game for the second year. Bottom side, good game for Rapid City Christian and Hamlin. I think it's a good game. Is Christian better than last year? They couldn't get by Hamlin. Are they better than last year? I think so. Going to be rather close. Into the fourth quarter, Hamlin's too good. They're just too good. Coach Neuendorf, he knows how to get it done right now. This time of year, he's got the players. He's got a great point guard, his son. I think they're going to be solid. Hamlin will beat Rapid City Christian again in the semis. The Comets just can't quite get over the top. I'd love to see it. I don't think it happens. A rematch in the State A Boys Championship. You don't see these very often. Rematch from last year. Sioux Falls Christian and Hamlin. The big difference Saturday night at the Denny. It will be Sioux Falls Christian avenging their loss from last year. Hamlin got him in overtime. Sioux Falls Christian's not going to let that happen again. I believe strongly Sioux Falls Christian is a favorite, and I'll go with Sioux Falls Christian to win the State A Boys Basketball Championship. I think they're just going to go. I think they're going to go to the AA, Rapid City, the Monument, Summit Arena. This will be interesting. Some teams that may surprise some people. Let's start with Lincoln and Spearfish. That's a tough matchup for the Spartans. Spearfish has a nice team. They're not very big. They get a nice team, some nice athletes. They won't be able to keep up with Lincoln, though. Sioux Falls Lincoln's going to win the opener tomorrow at the AA. Then how about this one? The old ESD rivalry. Mitchell-Huron in the first round. Give me the Colonels. You want to talk about a team that knows how to win now. The Colonels are going to get it done. People think Huron can beat them tomorrow. I don't think so. I'm going Mitchell in the first round tomorrow. Night games in Rapid City is Brandon Valley and Jefferson. I just saw somebody picking Jefferson. Not so fast. Brandon Valley's good. Have we forgotten that? Brandon Valley's good. Don't forget about the Lynx. Everybody always kind of thinks they're going to get beat one of these. Oh, they'll get knocked out. The Lynx are in the semifinals all the time. Girls, boys, it doesn't matter. Give me Brandon Valley to win over Jefferson. And then it's Harrisburg and O'Gorman. This one might be closer than you think. O'Gorman's coming on. They weren't great early. Now they're coming on. Harrisburg, I think's better. Could see an upset there. O'Gorman, not quite. Harrisburg's better. I'll go with Harrisburg. So I'm going chalk favorites in the AA first round tomorrow. All favorites. This is where it'll get interesting. Friday night in Rapid City. Sioux Falls Lincoln against Mitchell in my bracket. This is the time Mitchell's going to surprise everybody again. Sioux Falls Lincoln is 20-1. Their only loss, everybody say it with me, to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to get it done again. Tournament time. I love Traxler. I love these players. They're tough. They're strong. Mitchell's going to win in the semis, surprising Lincoln, knocking them down to the third place. Mitchell to the state championship game again. And then I'm going to go with guess who? Semifinal. Brandon Valley and Harrisburg is what I've got. Brandon Valley. I like this. Mitchell, Brandon Valley in the AA state championship. That's my prediction. Mitchell, Brandon Valley, and you can give me the Mitchell Colonels again. They just keep winning, and they're going to do it again. Coach Crutchfield does a nice job there. I really like this, and they're going to do it again. I love their play. Traxler's a great player. Mitchell over Brandon Valley. Book it. AA state championship. All right, there's the predictions. Viborg Hurley, state B champions. Sioux Falls Christian runs through the state A. Sioux Falls Christian, state A champs. Mitchell repeats. AA state boys champs in a surprise from the Nate Brown Show. But, disclaimer, I am a clueless radio person, we have decided. So good luck. By the way, let's get to this. So there's my predictions. What do you say? Listener text, Nate, I think you are clueless. Mitchell, come on. Have you not seen Mitchell? I think Mitchell's pretty good. Mitchell's pretty good. People are forgetting about Mitchell. Okay, there's my high school basketball predictions. Had to get those out on this Wednesday. Now I got to go to this. I'm going to get to Rocco Miller, college basketball analyst, brand new bracketologist on the show tonight. Get his read on the tournament. But I got a funny story that just came out. This is from Boston Globe columnist Dan Shaughnessy. This guy's been award-winning journalist. Dan Shaughnessy, if you followed sports, you should know Dan. 71-year-old guy, covered sports from the Celtics to the NCAA tournament to everything, the Patriots and the whole thing. So Boston Globe columnist Dan Shaughnessy has said he won't be watching tomorrow the NCAA tournament. What's the deal? Dan Shaughnessy said the NCAA men's basketball tournament used to be great, but I have a hard time understanding how folks invest dollars and emotions in today's farce that has nothing to do with colleges and universities. Clearly, cash and cheating long ago corrupted the sweet amateur status of college basketball, and it's been decades since most of the players on the court had a real connection to the schools represented on their jerseys. Thanks for playing, Dan. I understand Dan's coming at it from an old school side, but are you trying to tell me that he's actually going to sit this one out? That's what his column says today. I'll be sitting this one out. I'm not sure I'll watch the championship game if they were playing it in my driveway. I understand they're trying to sell papers there, the Boston Globe. They're trying to get clicks, trying to sell papers. Let me ask you this question. There is this contingent of people that I've heard from, college sports and the money and the NIL and the things. I'm out on it. I've heard this, yet I can't find that person on the street because you are going to be watching tomorrow. It's one of the best things in sports. You got the upsets. You got all of these games going on. You got people that take time off of work. Is it going to be me? Maybe. You got people that take time off just to watch the tournament. It's one of the best sporting events all year. You're not going to be not watching, correct? I mean, I think people like to say it. I understand your feelings, your sentiment. They really don't actually not watch, including Boston Globe columnist Dan Shaughnessy. Sorry, you're not tricking me. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. What do you say?
So you'd rather watch the NBA where guys sit out because they don't want to play too many games in a row?
I don't know what he's watching.
People pay $200-$300 to come see a player only to find out after they get there that, Joe's going to sit it out tonight, or, somebody's going to take a rest tonight because they got a sore knee.
Now, by the way, I get his opinion. Hey, the money, the stuff. I can agree with some of that, but it doesn't go so far as to, well, I'm not watching. I don't buy it.
Well, that's maybe not to the degree it is now, but don't tell me for how many years players weren't getting paid under the table.
Right, correct. And in his fairness, he said this has been this way for decades. So, I mean, he said there's people getting dollars for decades, but now he's going to decide not to watch this. I'm not buying it. I thought it was interesting.
Well, those players play hard and coaches coach hard.
I love it. I love it.
I don't. I'd much rather watch. I don't watch the NBA until the playoffs.
No, I'm with you.
They don't play until really hard until the playoffs. Let's be honest. So
yeah,
I'd much rather watch a college game than an NBA game. So
okay, you and me.
He's gonna watch.
You and me will be watching. Well, I don't know what he'll be doing. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks for getting in. No, I mean, I just call him out because, come on, Dan. I've followed his work. 71-year-old guy. He's been a great writer. He's been to the Boston Globe since 1981. I get it, but you think I'm an old man yelling at the clouds. We actually have a sports writer who said he's not going to watch the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Give me a break. Well, I know I'll be watching, and I want to make some picks with Rocco Miller, brand new guest. We haven't had him before. National college basketball analyst and bracketologist, live from San Francisco. His bracket unveiled next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the number one source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors are simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at rbarapidcity.com and start gliding again.
Game packages at the BetMGM Sportsbook, Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort has the perfect spot to watch college basketball this season.
Hit that one from the parking lot.
Cheer on all your favorite teams in a comfortable lounge lined with wall-to-wall television arrays.
And that's it! What a comeback!
Seat packages include free play and dining credit to take your game day to the next level. Get yours today at tinlizzy.com. And don't miss a single moment of the NCAA basketball tournament at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 25 tonight under clear skies, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High temperatures reach up to 57 tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Lows around 33 tomorrow night, slight chance for mixed precipitation. Mainly clear Friday with highs in the upper 40s, chance for rain Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 38.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback stronger than ever. Getting stronger, getting better, getting you back to your best self. The life of an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show getting started. Always a great day in South Dakota, right? The motto of the show, we got it. But it's a great day when you're on the eve of the state tournament. You're on the eve of the NCAA tournament. Let's get some picks here. We got a brand new guest. I followed his work here. It's really good stuff. College basketball analyst, bracketologist. I got to get a new job. I got to become a bracketologist like these guys. That's a great job. Follow his work, bracketeer.org. You can see the bracket there, bracketeer.org. It is Rocco Miller, and he's going to break down the tournament here on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Radio. Rocco, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Nate. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. How are you guys doing out there?
We are doing good, man. We're excited. We're ready. I've had a few guys on this week. A lot of people going heavy favorites. So I'm going to kind of get into this. How favored are the one seeds?
Well, I just think throughout the season this year it was interesting because typically the four number ones will separate themselves each year. And this year we had 6 of those teams, and they never really separated themselves fully. I think the committee got the correct 4, and, Florida and Houston coming in 3 and 4 in that pecking order really, put the final nail in the coffin by winning the Big 12 tournament and the SEC tournament, respectively. And also, you look at Florida winning at both Alabama and Auburn, 2 of those 6 teams on the road. Certainly, resume-wise, the Gators earned it the hard way. And Houston just being undefeated in true road games was also a separator. So it was an interesting year because typically there's some other teams that are up there for a while, then they fall off, or teams that come out of nowhere and take away a 1 seed. But these 4 teams were excellent all year, and then the other 2, Alabama and Tennessee, stuck in a loaded SEC, but obviously they were both great during non-conference. They held their own the majority of the nights in the nation's toughest league. They had a credential and the resume to be considered for number 1 seeds as well. So we have 6 elite teams, and you could also argue Michigan State, the 7th overall team. They just ran away with a really tough Big Ten, kind of separated themselves towards the end of the season as the best team in that league. that's typically a team that would be considered for a 1 seed, and they didn't even have a chance this year. So it just shows you why a lot of these teams were top-heavy compared to the rest of the country. Obviously, Duke's talent speaks for itself. Auburn's ridiculous 16 wins against tournament-level competition is impossible to top. So I think that's why it shook out the way it did.
Is Auburn too unpredictable right now?
I'm not sure. I'm excited to find out, though. And the reason why I'm not sure is because there are 3 losses down the stretch. March 4th, Texas A&M road game. Last road game of the year, they had kind of everything locked up as far as the number 1 seed in the conference tournament, the number 1 seed probably in the NCAA, even at that time. So you take a little bit with a grain of salt. They had already been on a ridiculous streak. They were 27-2 going into that game, and then they lose a home game in overtime to their rival Alabama. Really no shame in that. And in the SEC tournament, they did get a win over Ole Miss and then lose by 5 to Tennessee, another elite team. So yes, if you want to poke holes in the Tigers, you would poke holes in those last 2 weeks. At the same time, it's not like anybody blew them out or they looked like a different team. It's just they were kind of already in the clubhouse knowing that they were in good shape. Now they're really going to have to find that spark again. So we'll see if they can find that here this weekend and get themselves into Atlanta.
Rocco Miller joining us, college basketball analyst, bracketologist. Find him at bracketeer.org. Great site. Check it out. He's on Twitter at RoccoMiller8, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show. So we always ask, hey, do you have some pretty good upsets? Who do you I've had people say Colorado State's going to get Memphis. I've had people say High Point's going to get Purdue. These are some popular ones. Are they on your list?
I think those are certainly possible. I think the High Point Purdue one is fascinating because High Point does have you could argue a more athletic team. They certainly have a Power 5 starting 5. You could even say their first 7 with guys like Bobby Petford, who used to play for Kansas, coming off the bench. Most low major to mid major teams don't have the kind of roster High Point has. Obviously, a private university with a significant amount of NIL money, and built this team, and then were able to hold them together for 2 years for the most part. They also have a 7-foot, 255-pound rim protector in Justin Bodo, and that could be a problem for for Trey Kaufman-Renn of Purdue. Could be an interesting matchup. Purdue before the Zach Edey run last year and years prior, where they had that reputation of going out early. Obviously, we know St. Peter's knocking them out. Fairleigh Dickinson knocking them out. So, of course, Purdue will be on high alert for that matchup. So, curious to see how that goes. A team out here in the West that is just a phenomenal team to watch is UC San Diego. They take on Michigan in the opener. That should just be an outstanding game. I believe that's going to be Thursday night tomorrow. And, I'm very fascinated to see how they match up because UC San Diego is a team with 5 guys that are extremely cohesive, a mix of Division II players and guys from Oceania, whether you look at Australia or New Zealand. And their star, Onawanawa Tate Jones, he grew up playing soccer. I don't think he really took up basketball until he was 15 or 16. And I've watched them in person 4 or 5 times this year. I saw their showdown win over Irvine back in February. And the way they play, they just constantly move. They almost play like soccer players, where nobody ever stands still. They're always moving. They're always looking for angles, creating, moving without the ball. Everybody touches the ball. They have several possessions where nobody doesn't get their hands on it for a minute or for a quick second, I should say. And when Tate Jones gets the ball at the top of the key or even from the wing position, he has unique body control where he can take 2 kind of jab steps and get to the position of a layup. And it's really hard to prepare for that unless you've played them before. So now that they're in the NCAAs, obviously starting with Michigan, we'll see if they can get a run going. But this team is so connected and cohesive. The other thing about the matchup is defensively. Danny Wolf and Flag Golden, the 2 7-footers for the Wolverines, obviously present challenges, no doubt. But Danny Wolf is prone to turn the ball over from a passing position, especially if he gets rattled. And these UC San Diego Tritons are so good at forcing turnovers in those situations. So I'm really curious about that matchup and how they play the passing lanes. UC San Diego does not turn the ball over on their end. So a really good opportunity for them to get out of the first round, and then A&M versus Yale on the other side of that pod. That's kind of a little bit of a toss-up for different reasons as well. So I think you see San Diego not only has a good chance to win tomorrow, but get out of the pod and into Atlanta with Auburn.
Rocco Miller, couple more. I'll let him run. College basketball analyst, his site, Bracketeer.org. Bracketeer.org. Any teams that jump out, Rocco, as overrated? You kind of mentioned Texas A&M. That's a 4 seed. People have said maybe that's a little high there. Anybody overrated in the regions?
Well, I think just based on where we're at in the season with injury problems happening at some of these places, you have to call it out because the team they're bringing to the tournament is not as strong as the season they had. You got to start with Iowa State, who's not far from you. Of course, Keyshawn Gilbert won't be available. Now, they do have a deep physical roster, and Milan Momcilovic is back, and that helps. But Lipsey's been banged up as well. And, there's going to be a lot more weight on Curtis Jones and Deshaun Jackson and Josh Jefferson, who we know well from St. Mary's. And Iowa State's got a decent draw in the first game. I think they'll be okay against Lipscomb. But I think after the second round, Cyclones are going to be a little bit more vulnerable than they've been most of the season. You got to look at that. I think the rest of the 3 seeds as well. Wisconsin wants to get into round 2. Maybe not quite enough defense to get the job done. So we got our eye on them. A&M is playing football on a basketball court, so they're going to try to bruise things up, but they go cold in stretches, so they're fascinating, like you mentioned. I think some of those 3s and 4s are very much vulnerable.
Rocco, who do you have coming out of the regions? Are you going 1 seeds? Are there 2 seeds that make a run? Who do you have coming out of the regions?
Well, I have a variety of scenarios in mind, but I do think the 1s and the 2s certainly have the edge. Obviously, I'm kind of pointing out that the 3s and 4s have vulnerabilities. I do think, St. John's is very interesting because they play with tenacious energy and effort. And if the Wilson basketballs, which have been a big story the last couple tournaments, are overinflated or hard to shoot or any of those things that we've read about the last couple of March Madnesses, that totally favors the Red Storm. So I'm curious to see how far they can go. I think Rick Pitino can out-game plan pretty much any coach in the field. So if you're looking for a little bit, a reasonable but a little bit off the grid team to go far, maybe all the way, it's probably St. John's.
Great stuff. Rocco Miller joining us. Find his site, Bracketeer.org, college basketball analyst. Great night getting set for the games and the first 4 with Texas, Xavier, American, and Mount St. Mary's tonight. Rocco, I appreciate you hopping on. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Anytime, guys. Enjoy the action. Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Rocco Miller breaking down some regions, some matchups. College basketball analyst, his site, Bracketeer.org. Haven't had him on. We'll try and do it again. Rocco Miller on the Nate Brown Show tonight on Fox Sports Radio. Again, Bracketeer.org. I went and checked out his site. He breaks down all sorts of the matchups. Good stuff. Big college basketball guy there live from San Francisco. Let's go to Jerry Brewer. He's covering the tournament. We got to start with some tournament action. He just wrote a big piece on Rick Pitino and St. John's. Plus, I got to talk to Jerry about this NFL free agency run. The Vikings have decided, I guess, they're out on Aaron Rodgers. Is that a good call? Jerry Brewer, national sports writer for the Washington Post, joins me live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Get prepped and ready for a lush lawn this season with great deals at Fleet Farm. Save $5 on all Scott's Sun and Shade Grass Seed in convenient 3, 7, and 20-pound bags. Scott's Turf Builder Crabgrass Preventer with Lawn Food is just $69.99 after rebate. Plus, Field and Forest Denim Jeans for men, perfect for yard work, are priced right at $9.99 and up. Stock up on all your seasonal lawn and garden supplies at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
We're bringing Music City to you. Get ready for Nashville Night on March 22nd at the Box Elder Event Center. The concert kicks off at 7 p.m. with the talented Jessica Luby, followed by the high-energy Velvet Rodeo. Put on your boots and get ready to dance. Plus, test your skills on the mechanical bull.
Hold on tight, honey. You got it.
And enjoy Nashville hot chicken sandwiches.
Yeehaw!
Tickets are just $20 in advance or $25 at the door. Get your tickets now at thebox.live. Don't miss out on the country event of the year.
Who is it?
You're Prince Charming.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I've been calling to you, Rapunzel. Rapunzel, let down your golden hair for days.
I didn't hear you. The witch got the tower new replacement windows from Renewal by Andersen.
Didn't you wonder where I was?
Not really. My new windows are very energy efficient, keeping my tower very comfortable, and they have greatly reduced the noise levels.
What noise? You live in a forest.
Well, a certain needy prince is constantly yelling my name.
Do you not love me anymore?
Oh, quit being so dramatic.
Dramatic? Moi?
Yes, and Renewal by Andersen exclusively offers gorgeous ensemble security doors, safe and durable.
Do they?
You should get them for the castle along with new Acclaim replacement windows.
If I do, will you marry me?
Let's not rush it. And Prince Charming, get the windows for you, not me.
Oh, wait. Windows. For me?
Does your castle need new windows? Discover Acclaim windows and ensemble entry doors, custom fit and exclusive to Renewal by Andersen. Free consultations. Visit RBARapidCity.com.
Boys State A tournament coverage starts Thursday on Fox Sports Rapid City. The number 3 Rapid City Christian Comets and the number 7 Hill City Rangers look to make a strong impression as they begin their state tournament runs in Sioux Falls. Join Jerome Wickersham and Dinger for all of the action at 4:45 p.m. with Hill City taking on number 2 Hamlin, followed by Rapid City Christian taking on number 6 Clark Willow Lake. It's the Rangers versus Chargers, the Comets versus the Cyclones Thursday right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Your sports, your show, the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thanks for making the show possible. Appreciate you tuning in every afternoon drive on Fox Sports Radio. Remember, you can watch us live on Twitter right now. We're streaming all the time on Twitter there at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us live at Nate Brown Show on Twitter. All right, are we ready for this? Tournament time? I mean, we're trying to get ready. I haven't filled out my bracket yet. It's always a Wednesday night tradition of the Brown household. Me and my wife and my daughters, we fill out the brackets. And I got this note today from my wife. She said, hey, I printed off the brackets. And I said, that's amazing. I mean, that's big time. I've made it in life. She printed off the brackets for us tonight. I've made it. Jerry Brewer's on tonight covering the tournament, WashingtonPost.com. She wrote an interesting piece on Rick Pitino and St. John's. The revival there, I guess you could say. Jerry, welcome back on. How are you?
I'm doing good, Nate. How are you?
Doing good. I'm ready to go with this tourney. I predicted North Carolina last night. I thought everybody was banging on them. And, I mean, I know they're not great, but I thought they would win, and then they just blasted San Diego State. So I'm often running on one game. The rest of the tournament, I'm not so sure. When you're breaking this down, do you tend to go heavy favorites this year as you've looked at this?
It's hard. I mean, I like to do an initial kind of like a first impression, and then look back at it, a couple times and make some amendments. I was pretty heavy on the 1s and 2s. As a matter of fact, I had 3 1s and Michigan State as a 2 seed.
Okay.
Making the tournament, but there's a couple things that bother me right now, Nate. I think the Florida love is a bit extreme. I know they're a really good team, and I could see them winning it all. They certainly have all the parts. But it really scares me when like everybody's on one team, especially one that has been so hot and really hasn't had to deal with like a flat performance or just like playing somebody who has them totally flustered recently. That said, what they did in the SEC, that really holds water. So I'm a little concerned with them. And I'll tell you another team that I'm concerned with that everybody loves is probably like their second favorite is Duke. I'm concerned about them. It might be a moot point if Cooper Flagg is healthy and is playing the way he does. And I love how big and long they are and how defensive-minded they are. And they also have good shooting around Cooper when he's healthy. But my concern with Duke is, did they have it too easy in the ACC? 19-1, were able to win the conference tournament basically without Cooper. I just wonder, is there somebody? There's a lot of talent you have to deal with there, a lot of NBA talent, and a lot of guys who play unselfish ball. But is there a situation that they could be in that could rattle them a little bit? I would have liked to see them play, and they normally would play in ACC play about 5 tougher games, and they really only had 3 tough games. And so we're talking about there's a little bit of a Gonzaga syndrome with Duke in that they played all their tough games in the non-conference, then they were barely tested in conference play, which you never expect from the ACC.
Yeah.
But that's an issue. They're going to face some opponents who are going to make them elevate, and we'll see what they've got.
My thing with Duke is I'm looking at that region, and maybe I'm missing something. I don't see any, really tough tests there. Maybe you could say Alabama is. Maybe you think Arizona or even BYU maybe. But I'm looking at it's like Wisconsin's the 3 seed. You got Oregon on that side. I don't see a tough road. Maybe I'm missing it.
Yeah, you take Auburn's bracket, and if you could have divided up some of those seeds a little better and put them in Duke's bracket, that would have been more balanced. I do think that they have such a nice path, both in terms of brand quality of the opponent, talent, and style of play. Can Arizona really beat Duke in and Arizona wants to play an up-tempo game? Do you really they're not as talented as past Arizona teams.
Right.
Do they want to get in that kind of game if they play them in the Sweet 16? I do think that if we get Duke, Alabama, that could be a real classic Elite Eight game. I love that Alabama team. I think Nate Oates might have a significant coaching advantage over John Shire in that game. I would love to see Duke tested in that way. But, yeah, that's why, I got Duke in the Final Four, but, I'm really nervous about it. If you ask me, these next 12 hours or however long it is before you have to lock in your bracket, I'm probably going to overthink Duke the most because it just seems too easy to me.
Jerry Brewer joining us, covering the tournament, national sports writer, WashingtonPost.com. He's on Twitter at Jerry Brewer. Your piece on Rick Pitino, he's turned around every program he's been at in year 2. And I don't know what that model is. What should we think of Pitino now at St. John's?
Well, he gets back his reputation as he's got to easily be one of the 5 greatest coaches the game has ever seen. But, if you want to compare him to the 2 guys that I think are probably at the top of that mountain, which is Coach K and John Wooden, they're almost seen as these saintly figures, even though they weren't. And any dirt that they had was always never got exposed. All of Rick Pitino's dirt has been exposed for the world to see over these last 47 years he spent since his first head coaching job. But he just keeps coming back. It's a remarkable story about a flawed human being and someone who's got just these exceptional coaching and leadership traits and then just these extraordinary flaws. But he's just a relentless dude. When we've seen it all from Rick Pitino, and we can kind of go back to what he was at the beginning, which is He is one maniacal basketball mind. He will do anything it takes to try to get the best out of his players. A former player of his told me his greatest strength, his superpower as a basketball coach, is he is able to hide the deficiencies of his own players, and he's able to expose the deficiencies of opposing players better than any coach they've ever seen.
Good piece, WashingtonPost.com up there right now on Patino and St. John's, of course, the number 2. They're facing the Summit League. We're familiar with Omaha around here. Omaha's been a good story. They got St. John's in the first round. Jerry Brewer on tonight. I want to shift gears while I have you, Jerry. I want your read on this. Let's go NFL. There's been a lot of movement. The big story today is the Vikings are out on Aaron Rodgers. Is that a mistake for the roster they have, and J.J. McCarthy hasn't played one game?
No, I don't think it's a mistake. I think it's more of a culture thing. No, I mean, it seems to me, Nate, that the Vikings are basically telling us, if you read between the lines, we wouldn't mind this guy as a backup option, but we're not going to, move forward and make him our guy at this moment. And I understand that. They've got a certain style of play. They've got a vibe. They've got a coach who is just extraordinary when it comes to getting quarterbacks to play at the highest possible level, and just an offensive system that really works. Do you want a 40-year-old who is always, the default is always going to be he's going to play the way he's always played? And it's hard to get Aaron Rodgers to buy into your system. Your system always has to bend to Aaron Rodgers. And the older he's gotten, the more stubborn he's gotten. And you don't have that superstar ability anymore for you to say, okay, we can't do this the way I want to do it, but at least the way Aaron wants to do it is at an elite level. He's not that player anymore. And then furthermore, Nate, you went down this road before with Brett Favre, and it actually turned out nicely for a little while, right? But you don't want to do the whole Green Bay to Jets to Vikings thing again, you know? I know that maybe as sports fans and followers, our memories are a little bit too long, but we've already seen him go to New York and be a disaster. And you just kind of know how this thing is going to end. And I think that Aaron is more stubborn than Brett ever was, and I think he's got less in the tank because of that injury, his Achilles injury. I think he's got less in the tank than Brett had when he became a Viking. So, no.
All right. You're out on that. Where does Aaron Rodgers end up? Where does Russell Wilson end up, if you're thinking right now?
Well, I think Aaron Rodgers needs to go to the Giants, which kind of aces out. He doesn't make good sense as a culture fit in Pittsburgh, and maybe Pittsburgh decides to do it just because they're desperate. But I think Aaron should try to get to Pittsburgh, but I think Aaron being Aaron will wind up doing something weird and going to the Jets, and that'll be a disaster, and he'll get sacked 80 times next year, and his career will be over. For Russell, Russell is probably hoping that Aaron goes to Pittsburgh because Russell's not going back to Pittsburgh. He had such a hard time with Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, come to find out, and they don't want him. So I think he would like it for Aaron to go to Pittsburgh. He goes to the Giants. If it's a scenario where Aaron goes to the Giants, I don't know what Pittsburgh does, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do Russell Wilson again. And what happens is I think Russell needs to consider being a backup quarterback. I think he would be a really nice fit in Miami. But they've already made some contingency plans on their own. But I'm not sure that it's good enough to preclude you from taking Russell Wilson if that's what you want to do. And you know what? The Vikings might want to just have him in for a visit. See if that's something that they would want to consider as again, as a fallback option, because if J.J. McCarthy.
Jerry Brewer on tonight. National.
Legitimate, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Jerry. Sorry you broke up just a touch. National sports writer, WashingtonPost.com. Jerry Brewer in tonight on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Good luck on the bracket, Jerry. I appreciate you hopping on.
Oh, anytime, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Jerry Brewer in tonight. Washington Post national writer. Find him on Twitter at Jerry Brewer, one of our favorite guests. Good stuff. He's going pretty heavy favorites in the bracket. And he said the Vikings out on Aaron Rodgers is okay. What do I say? I've got two things for you as I come back on the Nate Brown Show. I do have a message for Vikings fans. I have a message for you Vikings fans. Are you ready? This is going to be really serious now, next. And then the Detroit Lions have a new idea. Did you see this? The Lions have, I don't know, one of the best ideas. We mentioned this on the show. I'm going to endorse the Detroit Lions tonight and their idea. Hang on.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Want to improve your putting? Master your chip shots? Golf Greens by Forever Lawn is the ultimate synthetic turf to improve your short game. For the committed golfer to the recreational player, we create custom golf greens to make your home or business the premier practice and entertainment destination. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you shave strokes off your golf game. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
If you follow Country Heartbreads on Facebook and Instagram, then you already know that their cute little mascot, Lofi, really knows his dough. For instance, he knows that rising dough is a good thing, but rising grocery prices, not so much. The bakers of Country Heartbreads and Village Hearth Buns agree, so they've lowered the prices on dozens of products. And to help you save even more on the only breads and buns that are baked locally and delivered fresh daily, Lofi suggests visiting countryheartbreads.com/coupons to print a coupon or two and save a buck.
Looking for a new sport utility? Looking for one that's easy on the gas bill? We have them at Danny Mantle Rapid Chevrolet. Over 50 to choose from, most with the exclusive Danny Mantle discount, including 23 all-new 2025 Equinoxes, plus Traverse, Tahoe, Suburban, Trailblazer, and Trax. Finance terms to fit every budget. Rates as low as 2.9% APR. See us at Danny Mantle Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMantleRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Length of finance contract is limited on select models with qualified credit. Expires 3/31/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 25 tonight under clear skies, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High temperatures reach up to 57. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Lows around 33. Tomorrow night, slight chance for mixed precipitation. Mainly clear Friday with highs in the upper 40s, chance for rain Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 38.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com. Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. What's on tap tonight? Marcus Traxler live from the AA Boys State Tournament, the state tournament preview, the sports editor, Daily Republic. Also, what's on tap? Kyle Courtney coming up, Rapid City Christian head boys basketball coach, live from the State A. A reminder, March Madness is on at the Campfire Bar tomorrow. Brand new at the new Mr. Liquor 2 in Rapid City. Stop by, check out the live games, 20 local brews on tap, just off Catron Boulevard. South Dakota's best and biggest liquor store selection unlike any other at Mr. Liquor 2. Watch the games at the Campfire Bar. The Nate Brown Show on Twitter right now. Stream us at Nate Brown Show on Twitter and follow the show. Interact with us on the question of the day. So I've got a simple message today for Vikings fans. This is me being respectful. This is me being nice. Me being a little disappointed in how the Vikings are going to play this out. The Vikings are out on Aaron Rodgers. So I just heard all of you celebrate. I know I've got Vikings fans listening, and they just are so excited that you're not going to go with Aaron Rodgers. But I'm honestly here to tell you, I'm looking at this objectively. I'm not emotional with Aaron Rodgers because I don't hate him like you Vikings fans have hated him for many years. I don't like him, but I don't hate him. And I look at it and I say, J.J. McCarthy is going to be the guy for the Vikings, and with all of the roster improvements and all of that they've done and the skill guys that they have, this Vikings team could win a lot of games. They may win some, but they aren't going to win a ton of games. A rookie QB, no games played. We don't have any idea. This could be a good quarterback. This could be an okay quarterback. I don't see like going from no games to great. And the Vikings have a roster that needs to win right now. So I would have done it. I would have done the Aaron Rodgers thing. So my simple message for Vikings fans, including my brother, are you listening? So my brother, lifelong Vikings fan, don't come crying on November. Don't cry to me about how J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings are struggling. No, we can't do that. Don't do it. Because I'm here to tell you, I would have done the deal. Tried to talk Aaron Rodgers into playing for whatever. Okay, just talk him into playing for whatever. Because here's my thing. You've seen what Kevin O'Connell has done with quarterbacks. And that's what you guys argue with me about is, well, he's going to do that with J.J. McCarthy. Look at what KOC has done. Can you imagine what he'd do with the skill set and the knowledge and the experience of Aaron Rodgers? Don't you think that would have worked out? I don't like the culture fit. I don't like the personality. Me first, drama, does the radio show, whatever. I don't like the attention stuff, but I know Aaron wants to win. He likes winning. I think the Vikings would have won a lot. You had a chance to get Aaron Rodgers for one last run. Just hit pause on throwing JJ in right away. Just a little pause, and I would have done it. So this is me. And now, in November, you can come back here on the show and say, see, you lose. You're wrong, Nate. You were wrong. JJ's the man. We are rolling. And I'm a Vikings guy. I want my brother to have success. He's been a suffering Vikings fan. I want you Vikings fans to reach the top. I do. So I'm rooting for the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy. But I would have done the Aaron Rodgers deal. And I can't have anybody saying, well, who are you going to be upset at in November? Who are you going to be upset at? Because the Vikings chose this route. And I think it's as risky as you can get. Injury, no games, rookie, hasn't played. I mean, at Michigan, he wasn't a high-flying, touchdown-throwing guy. It was a system. They had a great team. Now he's going to be the man on a team that's stacked pretty good. And I would have done the Aaron Rodgers deal. So next season, in November, what will we be giving thanks for? Will we be giving thanks for J.J. McCarthy and this Vikings decision? Or will we be giving thanks for the Nate Brown Show trying to warn us in March? Thanks for listening. Into the second hour, 5 questions from Chris tonight. Our loyal listener, Chris, sends me 5 questions. I've got some answers. We kick off the hour next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the number one source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors are simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com and start gliding again.
Ready to turn that home project dream into a reality? The 2025 Black Hills Home Builders Home Show is your one-stop shop for inspiration and amazing deals to help tackle home renovation projects of any size. I'm Julie Bennett with Premier Surfaces, inviting you to the Monument March 28th through the 30th. Meet with more than 500 contractors, renovators, landscapers, and more. This year, check out the exciting Kid Zone, fun for the whole family, all for just $10. For tickets and information, head to blackhillshomebuilders.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Cadillac Jacks is Deadwood's exclusive home of the Roaring Riches Jackpot. Just be actively playing your favorite slot machine with your club card engaged for your chance to win. The Roaring Riches Jackpot starts at $7,500 and must hit by $10,000. Plus, you can keep up to the minute on the current Roaring Riches total on your Cadillac Jacks mobile app. Roaring Riches has already paid out $2 million. Anyone at any time on any spin. You could be the next to win. Only at Cadillac Jacks Gaming Resort.
Talking car stuff with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. We've talked about remote starts and how they can make your winter life better. But I know that's not the only thing you guys can offer to help brave the cold.
For sure. Remote starts are one of the things that top that list, and we can install an Arctic Start remote start system from just $299.
Nothing better than getting into a warm running car to keep you toasty, right?
Exactly. We also have year-round winter tires by Toyo with a 60,000-mile tread warranty that we absolutely love. They're perfect for where we live. And now save $40 on a set of 4. Plus save 10% on our Duralast Pro Power Ultra batteries, the only battery with roadside assistance and a 5-year warranty.
Sounds like Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail is the place to winterize your rig.
Stop in or give us a call, and we'll go over all the remote start, tire, and battery options available, and we'll do it with the best prices in the area.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, folks. See anytime.com or at the corner of Highway 79 in East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome back in second hour on a Wednesday night. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio, the Nate Brown Show. Good stuff tonight. We'll get into the high school hoop side big time coming up. We got to get into the state AA tournament, the state A, the state B. I made my predictions, my picks. You got to do that. I made my state championship picks for the boys tournaments at the beginning of the show. If you missed some of the show, the guests, we talked brackets and got a final preview from some bracketologists and sports writers. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. So this show is always in the podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, search The Nate Brown Show. And then you've got this show live from high school to college to the pros, whatever guests you want to hear. Tonight, we'll have Marcus Traxler on. He's the sports editor for the Daily Republic. He's covering the AA tournament. What does he think of the AA? We'll get his read. Kyle Courtney joins us from the State A tournament. He's the head coach. Rapid City Christian, can they get over the top? They made it to the semis last year, got beat by Hamlin. That might be the matchup again, my pick. I think Christian can make it again to the semis. They would face Hamlin, I think. Again, good luck to the Hill City Rangers. How about Hill City? Boys making it for the first time to state ever. State A boys basketball appearance for the first time ever for Hill City. They take on a tough Hamlin team tomorrow night. Good stuff. We'll get into that. Some great guests coming up. I do want to get to 5 questions from Chris on the way. So Chris, our loyal listener, sends me 5 questions. I've got 5 answers, rapid fire coming up. First, a question of the day. 254 votes online. And if you want to vote on the Nate Brown Show, you can do it right here on the good old-fashioned radio show. On the text line, 605-720-1067. Text the show. So I saw some of the tournament prices. Saw some of the high school tournament prices. Do you think $17 for an adult and $12 for a kid is too expensive for one session at state basketball? So that's some of the prices that were popping for the girls' AA last week. For one session, like a night session tomorrow night, $17 for an adult, $12 for a kid was the price point. Is that too expensive for one session at state basketball? Now, as a media guy, I can't tell you, I haven't paid for my ticket in a long time, but I'm buying my kids' tickets, and maybe she was trying to hang on to money or something. I don't know. She said, I need $20. I go, what? It's just like $5 to get in. No, it's $12. And then she used the change to buy whatever, one water. Anyway, is $17 for an adult, $12 for a kid too expensive for one session at a state basketball tournament? Yes, that's too pricey for a family to go. Or no, people will pay it. High school sports. What's your vote? Some listener reaction here. Students and younger should be $5. Students and younger should be $5. Listener text, if this was for all 4 games for the day, that would be better. But I don't think it's a crazy price for 2 games of the tournament either. 605-720-1067 on the text line. $120 for a family of 4 to go to 2 night sessions? Way too much for high school events. They should make additional revenue on concessions, would make for a better environment for participants to play in a fuller house, and this could keep people away. One more. Well, I'm headed to Iowa for a high school wrestling tourney. Admission's $30 for an adult, $20 for a student each day. Pretty crazy, in my opinion. All right, thanks for voting there. What's the tally? Do you think $17 for an adult, $12 for a kid is too expensive for one session of the state basketball tournament? 86% of you say, yes, that's pricey if you have a family. 86% says too pricey for a family. 14% say no, people will pay it for high school sports. Well, here's the thing. I understand when you ask a question like that, is this too expensive? What do you think the answer is going to be? Yes! Gas, eggs. We just go off, right? Now high school basketball is under assault. Inflation. But I am interested. It has gone up. Have the prices of the rentals of the facilities gone up? And what's the margin there? I mean, it all comes together. But I thought it was a little pricey. I thought it was a little pricey. $12 for a student to go to a night session. And we went to a couple of them. You know, it didn't break the bank or anything, but I thought it was a little pricey. Let's see. The listener text. The same people complaining about the 17 and 12 bucks, Nate, will stop at Starbucks on the way to the game and pay $5 for a cup of coffee. Probably more than that. Probably more than that. I don't even look at it. Whenever my daughter asks me for a Starbucks thing, I don't even look at it. It's got to be more than $5, though, right? How about $3.95 for a can of Monster Energy drink? Yeah. Stay away from that stuff. It's not good for you. Are we ready for this? Okay, hang on. I've got it. First, I want to say this. The Detroit Lions today, have you seen what they did? The Detroit Lions today have proposed a significant change to the NFL playoff seeding that would change around the divisions as important. So right now, you win your division, you get one of the top 4 seeds. End of story. Even if your division's bad, like the NFC South. So the NFC North was packed last year. We all know this. Lions, Vikings, Packers. But the Lions won the division. They ended up with the number 1 seed. The Vikings could have won the division and came down to the final week. We know this. They went all the way from the number 1 seed, potentially, all the way to number 5. Simply because they didn't win their division. So the Lions have proposed today, instead of just the division winners getting the top 4 seeds, they want to do the best records. So this would be, if you're a division winner, you have the conference's best record, you're the number 1 seed. So you're following, right? You have the best record and you're a division winner, you're the number 1 seed. The Lions say after that, forget the divisions. You just go by record in the NFC. So that's what they want to do. Now, this would have been interesting if the Vikings brought this forward today because they were the ones that really got smacked by it. They went from a potential number 1 seed all the way down to number 5. That does hurt. I mean, that hurts. There's no doubt. So I think I like the idea. I think divisions are, it's fine. But why do we award a bad division winner over a team that has a better record? I mean, just tell me that. I don't know why. Lions want to change it. They're going to look at it now, the owners of the NFL. I don't know if there's going to be a bunch of support for it or not, but the NFC North is packed. Lions, Vikings, Packers. Maybe the Bears might get good sometime. You've got divisions that are weak, and they get an automatic top 4 seed just because they win their division. Why not go number 1 seed is the best record division winner? After that, goes by records. Lions proposed the change. I'm with it. We'll see where it goes. Let's do this.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
We ready, Chris? Our loyal listener, Chris, sends them in. 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show. Rapid fire. Here we go. Question 1. The U.S. men's national soccer team coach believes the U.S. can be the best team in the world within 10 years. Is that all? It's gonna take us that long. Nate, is he just being the team's biggest cheerleader, or can the U.S. men actually win the World Cup and be the best team in the world? We've had a hard time on the men's side. I couldn't tell you. I mean, we got athletes across the board. I mean, we got so many good athletes. I don't know what the men's soccer thing, I don't know what's happened. European soccer powers are just off the charts. I don't think we win the World Cup coming up. I don't see it. I think we can get right in that mix. We should. But I mean, we got to go from, we can barely beat small nations, like little nations. We can barely beat them. Let's start there until we become the best team in the world. Question number 2. Speaking of soccer, the Denver National Women's Soccer League team announced they're going to build a new stadium. The NWSL team in Denver, they're going to build a 14,000-seat stadium. This will be the only second dedicated stadium for women's soccer. Is this a good sign that this soccer league will succeed, or is it just rich owners? Well, it helps having wealthy owners. I know that as a Broncos fan. Our owners seem to be doing okay. They're doing fine. But on the Denver women's soccer side, it's interesting. You got to build a new stadium, 14,000 seat. I will say the NWSL seems to be fine. I think National Women's Soccer is going to be fine. They get the top players to play, and girls soccer is just growing exponentially. So I think it's a sign the NWSL is here to stay. I think it is. National Women's Soccer League, new Denver team coming up. Question number 3, 5 questions from Chris. This year's draft is being held in Green Bay. The estimated cost to protect fans and players' security is $1 million. State of Wisconsin is planning to cover most of the costs, but do you think the NFL should be covering the costs? This goes to, is it good to have the draft in your city? Here come the visitors, here come the economic impact, so the state of Wisconsin says, yeah, we'll help out. I think you want to have the draft in your city, Chris. So I think you got to provide some security. NFL's got to have a piece of that. But you do want to host the draft. It's a big event, brings a lot of people to your city. You got to cover the cost of the security. The economic impact follows. Question number 4. Nate, are you surprised so far that the men's college basketball hasn't embraced the three-point shooting barrage like the NBA? Well, I guess college basketball, I watch a lot of it. They are shooting threes. They're shooting more threes than I remember. It is not just spread it all out and shoot threes only. It's a lot of on-ball picks. There still is some good basketball play in college. The three-pointers are coming. I mean, it's not NBA yet, but Chris, hang on. It's more than it used to be as far as I watched it. I love college basketball, though, starting up tomorrow. Question number 5. National Hockey League and its Players Association are discussing changing the length of their season. They're thinking about starting earlier in September and then taking a break for the Four Nation Tournament or the Winter Olympics. What do you think the NBA should do? Should they start later instead of earlier? Do you think the NBA should start in November or December, Nate, and end in July? I think you just keep it where it's at, Chris. The NBA starts in October. I understand October to like Christmas, nobody's paying attention. It's football. But I still think you're going to have that in November, too. So I don't think you should hang this thing into July. That gets a long season. I think the NHL is a long season as it is, so I don't think they should start earlier. I don't think they should start earlier. I think you keep it right where it's at. The NBA, 82 games, October to June, finals wrapping up, and then we start summer. I'd keep it. 5 questions from Chris in the books. Let's go high school basketball previews. AA State, Class A and Class B starts tomorrow. Marcus Traxler's covering the AA. Who does he say is a favorite? He's the sports editor for the Daily Republic. He joins me live from the Monument next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the number one source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors are simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at rbarapidcity.com and start gliding again.
Part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 25 tonight under clear skies, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High temperatures reach up to 57 tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Lows around 33 tomorrow night, slight chance for mixed precipitation. Mainly clear Friday with highs in the upper 40s, chance for rain Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 37 degrees.
Luxury meets incredible savings at Spearfish Cadillac. We're closing out our remaining 2024 Cadillac models, and now's your chance to drive home sophistication for less. Get $4,800 off the stylish XT4, $5,100 off the refined XT5, or $6,300 off the spacious XT6. Want an all-electric luxury? Save up to $9,200 off the stunning Cadillac Lyriq. 2024 stock is limited, so these deals won't last. Visit us online at spearfishcadillac.com.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in, The Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. This hour driven by Summit Automotive Group when it comes to pre-owned in South Dakota. Take a look at summitautogrp.com. Start there. It starts with selection. That's the right selection you need, but really it's car buying built around you, from the right financing, the right treatment. Start at summitautogrp.com. When you're looking at pre-owned, start there. State boys basketball. AA tournaments in Rapid City. Marcus Traxler covering the AA. Sports editor, Daily Republic. He's on Twitter at Marcus Traxler. You can find him there, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show, courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Hotline. Marcus, welcome back on. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Here we go. Mitchell back trying to win again. I'm going to start with the AA there. I made my predictions. Now, I'm not a journalist, okay, so I'm just making my predictions. I'm pulling Mitchell the upset. Not only do they get by Sioux Falls Lincoln, I got them winning the whole thing. Is that a crazy idea? You tell me about Mitchell.
Not at all. I mean, considering they are the defending champions, and of the players that played in last year's state title game, they really only lost one senior. So a lot of that core is back. They've had 3 losses this year. They've had games where they haven't played their best. And some of those teams are in this tournament. Brandon Valley, their first-round matchup against Huron, they did not play well against them in January when they played. So they have some avenging potentially to do if they're going to be a state champion. But they did beat Lincoln, the number 1 team, and as you mentioned, potentially playing them in the semifinals. They got to get through Huron. It's going to be a tricky game just because those 2 teams are rivals. And then against Lincoln, so many things went wrong for the Patriots the first time around. They're an extremely skilled shooting team, and I do question whether or not they're going to have 2 bad days against Mitchell. But Mitchell's certainly capable, especially underneath the basket with the forwards, that they match up really well against Lincoln. It's probably, I mean, of the teams that are contenders, it's maybe the most problematic matchup for Lincoln, at least in my view.
I love the way Talley plays. You get to see him a lot. How good's Talley when it comes to players in the state?
I would say he's no lower than the top 3. I mean, to me, it's Griffin Goodberry from Sioux Falls Christian and Marcus Talley, and I don't know who else I necessarily would have third, but those two are neck and neck. I believe we're going to find out the Gatorade Player of the Year later this week, and Griffin Goodberry was the pick last year. Certainly no reason to doubt that, but I would expect those two to be the contenders to win it this year. And he's just, the word that comes to my mind is just smooth. He's always in control. He's always got a great grasp of the game. He's a very good shooter, terrific at driving to the basket, finding his shot. He's never rushed. And, teams have thrown a lot of defenses at him this season, and so that's been Mitchell as a team has had to adjust to that quite a bit. I think he's overall done a good job. It's going to be interesting to watch in the state tournament when they need him to take over the game. He's capable of doing it. He's done it a few times against really good opponents this year. But, what is the impetus of that? Is it, Mitchell's coaching staff saying, hey, we need you to take over the game, or does Marcus Talley just go do it? And I think there's a good chance it's the latter. I'm guessing it may not come to the coaches needing to tell him to do that because he's got natural instincts for the game that I think in a lot of ways can't be taught.
I just feel like Mitchell's under the radar. I know they're the defending state champs. They have the players back. They're sitting at a 4 seed. I feel like people have forgotten about them. So if it's Lincoln Mitchell on the top, let's just say that's who gets to the Friday night. What do you think of the bottom in AA? Brandon Valley, to me, is a 2 seed. Brandon Valley just win, and people feel like they're under the radar too. What do you see on the bottom?
Yeah, I think it's going to be super competitive. You've got Brandon Valley against Jefferson. That's the third game on Thursday. Jefferson beat Brandon Valley in the second game of the year. That was a long time ago, and Jefferson's had their ups and downs, but they are as healthy as they've been all year. They've won 5 games in a row. Brandon Valley's ripped off a bunch of wins to get to this point as well, but that is a tricky game for Brandon Valley. Their main thing is their defense is terrific and they're balanced on offense. That's a great recipe to win in March. And they have given up, since losing to Jefferson in December, they have given up 60 points one time in that whole span, and that was to Brandon. That was an out-of-state game with Marshall. So they have just not given up a lot of more than 60 points this season. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye on, as their defense has been extremely good all year, and that's going to be, I think, the key for Brandon Valley. You mentioned the other game, Harrisburg. They are maybe also under the radar, if it's somehow possible, but they're just a really talented roster year in and year out, one of the best coaching staffs in AA, and so they're going to face an O'Gorman team that scores a lot and gives up a lot of points. So that's going to be probably a little bit more of a track meet if it's up to O'Gorman, I think, because O'Gorman's not afraid to score in the 60s.
My pick for the AA boys is Mitchell Brandon Valley in the state title game Saturday night, and I'm taking Mitchell to repeat as state AA champs. Marcus Traxler's on tonight. He'll cover the AA tournament for the Daily Republic. These guys do a good job. Let's go to the Class A tournament. You're not going to be there, but when you look from afar, this is stacked here. A lot of the same customers. Hamlin, Sioux Falls Christian, Rapid City Christian. I've got all of these teams advancing into Friday night, but here's the real story. I think Sioux Falls Christian is untouchable there. Am I wrong?
No, I generally agree with that. I think they potentially could get a difficult challenge against West Central if they play them because in the semis, because West Central has been really good defensively all year, and they have 6'9" center that could potentially match up with the 6'10" Goodberry. Now, Goodberry's a lot more athletic, and so he's still a difficult player to guard. But that's maybe a tricky game in the semifinals. And then, of course, to me, it's either they're going to play Hamlin or they're going to play Rapid City Christian. And I think Rapid City Christian is going to be in the title game. I think Hamlin is still really good. Easton Neuendorf is also a smooth point guard, one of those guys you trust with the ball in his hands. But I've seen Rapid City Christian a couple times this year. I've been impressed. I think with the Kiefer brothers and Julius Frog, they just have a really nice combination. They seem to play better together every time I see them. They did a great job of holding off Del Rapids in the Sodak 16 and kind of keeping them at bay. So I like potentially what we would see with Rapid City Christian playing Sioux Falls Christian. I still think Sioux Falls Christian is going to win this. I think they're particularly motivated after losing in overtime last year to Hamlin in the title game, and they're just loaded. They are an extremely loaded, balanced team. They're scoring 81 points a game. There's nobody else in the state that's anywhere near that.
Are you a believer that Sioux Falls Christian would be the best team of any class?
I think so. I think they have a lot of depth, and they have a particular set of skills that just not many teams can match up with. I guess you could put Lincoln out there, you could put Mitchell out there, any of the teams in AA, but they played O'Gorman during the year and they beat them soundly. So I just think they're the number one team and we could see crazy things happen in March. We see that all the time, but I think they're on their way to a potential state title.
Rapid City's fans are liking Marcus Traxler, saying the Christian Comets could get into the state title game. Can Rapid City Christian take the next step? They couldn't do it last year. They made semis, got beat. Hamlin goes on to win the state A last year in overtime. Class B, Marcus, before I let you run. So this is interesting. Castlewood's the number one, but I feel like St. Mary's gets a lot of attention. Viborg Hurley and Shane Warwick there gets a ton of attention. Do we know who's the best in B?
No, we probably don't. I think Castlewood, to this point, has shown they are a worthy number one seed. And for the most part, those three teams you mentioned have all played each other to some degree, whether it's been at Classics or it's been just, I know Del Rapids, St. Mary, and Castlewood, they just played each other in January. So I think Castlewood has been really good. I mean, Paul Rosh is as good a coach as there is in the state. But I really like Del Rapids St. Mary. To me, they're my pick to win this week. They have just really good roster, good guards. Trevon Beckman's really good. Maverick Lebrun, who's going to play football at South Dakota State, is a really good forward. Tremere Hansen is a good swing man. So they just have some really nice pieces. You mentioned Viborg Hurley. They have probably a tricky first-round matchup with Freeman, a team that's really come on strong here late in the year, a team that Freeman won the earlier matchup, I think the first or second game of the season, but I'm sure Viborg Hurley is well prepared for whatever Freeman is going to throw at them. And I think West Indian Springs is at least worth keeping an eye on. They've got an interesting game against Wall, and I think that will probably be the best game of the first round, but crazier things have happened. But West Indian Springs had only 2 losses last year. They're right up there again this year. Just a really good, balanced roster. They've had guys hurt, so they've kind of developed some scoring options that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise. So I don't know that they can match up with the bigs of Castlewood, and I think Castlewood's going to be in the title game. But I think it's going to be Del Rapids St. Mary winning the state title over Castlewood.
Castlewood, St. Mary's, you got in the Class B state title in Aberdeen. You're going St. Mary's over Castlewood. Marcus Traxler on tonight, sports editor for the Daily Republic, one of the best high school guys, and he'll be covering the AA tournament at the Monument in Rapid City. Marcus, appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Take care.
Appreciate it. Marcus Traxler on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Follow his coverage, Daily Republic. Marcus Traxler on Twitter, at Marcus Traxler. And he's here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. So he goes St. Mary's to win the B's. St. Mary's. I'm taking Viborg Hurley. Viborg Hurley. He goes Sioux Falls Christian to win the A's. That's where I'm at. But he puts Rapid City Christian in the state championship, not Hamlin. And then it sounds like he says Mitchell's right in the mix. Can they get by Sioux Falls Lincoln? He didn't really give me his pick there. He's covering the AA, so not really going to give me his pick. But I'm taking Mitchell past Lincoln on Friday night semifinal night and the Colonels to win another state AA title. Good stuff from Marcus Traxler. Let's get some insight from the Class A tournament at the Denny. Just wrapped up practice today. Rapid City Christian, can they take the next step? They got a ton of players back from last year. Great leadership. Kyle Courtney's the head coach for Rapid City Christian. He'll give me his preview of their first matchup tomorrow night against Clark Willow Lake on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Uh-oh, you have to open the old gliding door to the patio again, but that thing stopped gliding long ago. Did you know that your old, ugly, hard-to-open gliding door is probably the number one source of loss of heat in your home, and that broom handle lock is not secure? Renewal by Anderson's gliding patio doors are simply the best of the best, and Renewal has an incredible offer right now. Don't miss it. 20% off every door, plus no money down, no payments, no interest for 12 months. No payments until 26. Please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com and start gliding again.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live tonight. Packed tonight from high school to college to the pros. Try and cover you across the board. Great guests across South Dakota and the country. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast if you miss any parts of the show. You want to hear high school previews. You want to hear bracket breakdown. We had all the good stuff tonight. Search the Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcast. Just got a note, people listening on Spotify, so you bet you can download the podcast on Spotify, Amazon, Apple. Actually, wherever you get your podcast, just search the Nate Brown Show. We're on all the platforms, so you got us. State A boys basketball tournament in Sioux Falls. Rapid City Christian's back. I love watching these guys. And they had a nice run last year, made it to the semifinals, then to the third place game. They got a lot of players back, and they made another run. They're 20-2. Their head coach is Kyle Courtney. Rapid City Christian in the night game tomorrow against Clark Willow Lake. Coach, good to get you back on. How are you?
Nate, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate your time. As always, like talking hoops and about your program. So I'm going to ask you, though, you brought players back. You lose some, but you brought a lot of the nucleus back. And I want to know if this team feels different. Is this team different than the one last year that made it to the semifinals?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think as a coach, every year is a little bit different. We we did return a huge, chunk of our team from last year. We're just missing one starter who graduated, Wilson Kiefer, a couple guys off the bench who really played big roles for us. So yeah, this team's a little bit different, but obviously a lot of familiar faces. We do a lot of the same things, just X's and O's wise and philosophy wise. But it's always how the pieces come together every year. That's the fun part about coaching high school.
Do you think that playing last year really gives you an advantage this year? Does the state tournament play give you experience?
Well, I certainly like to think so. We'll see how that plays out this weekend. But, I really believe it does. I think just having the experience of, knowing the schedule, the festivities, kind of how to plan your weekend, I think that really helps when you have that experience of playing. And the kids know what to expect. There's some similar teams from last year to this year. You hope that experience definitely helps your kids.
Kyle Courtney joining us from Sioux Falls Rapid City Christian, head boys basketball coach. The Comets playing the night game tomorrow against Clark Willow Lake. Comets are 20-2, coming in as the 3 seed. So your team, I've seen these guys. They play multiple sports, a lot of these guys, and I feel like they're big gamers. You didn't talk about, we were nervous last year, or I don't know, maybe it's going to help. They might have a better mindset. These guys feel like they're just gamers, competitors. Do you think that?
That's the beauty of this group. They're definitely competitors, and like you said, they're gamers. They love to compete. We were able to win our first round game last year in upset fashion. So, I don't think our kids went in last year scared of anything. They're not coming in scared this year of anything. We feel like we can win the whole thing. We know we're going to have to play great basketball. You're going to have to put 3 great games together, but we're coming in this thing really, feeling like if we can play great basketball, we got a chance.
Okay. So your regular season, I thought you had some tough games. How do you feel that prepared you here? You played some good teams.
Absolutely. That was the goal, to add some different teams to our schedule. We were able to go to the Hanson Classic and Dakota Wesleyan Classic, and we played Stevens, and we talked about it before, our Black Hills Conference schedule, was a tough schedule. I mean, there was a lot of really good teams out here, West River. So, and we go to North Dakota and play some perennially good teams up there in Shiloh Christian, who's always at the state tournament, and Dickinson Trinity. So, yeah, we hope that playing all those teams and those good teams will really help us this weekend.
Okay, can you tell us about Clark Willow Lake here? This is a team that not a lot of people have maybe seen out west. What's Clark Willow Lake look like in the first matchup tomorrow night?
I'll tell you this, they got a lot of young talent. They're going to be a team, over the next couple of years that is really going to be a force in Class A. Very talented this year, well coached. Their coach has been there about 25 years and, won a state title in Class B and has been at the state tournament many times. But they have four guys that really kind of balanced, lead them in some balanced scoring. They have a freshman, 6'7" freshman, I think is their best player, and sophomore that's 6'6". So they go 6'7", 6'6", 6'4", 6'2". They got some size and they got some skill. I don't think our kids, are going to be scared of that just because we see a lot of size throughout the season. But very impressed with the team that Clark Willow Lake has, and obviously a great program.
Kyle Courtney joining us, giving us a State A preview. He's the head coach, Rapid City Christian, 20-2. What a year playing Clark Willow Lake tomorrow night. In the game before you guys, Coach, I just want your thoughts on Hill City. First ever State A boys basketball tournament. You guys had that last year at A. You were there before at the B level, but Class A you made it. Hill City's never made it. They're 19-4. Nobody's saying, oh, Hill City, where did they come from? And then I was talking to one of their assistant coaches. I said, man, you guys really have come along. He said, just a bunch of really good athletes across the board. What do you think of Hill City?
Well, Hill City, man, what a season they've had. They were as hot as any team in Class A at the end of the season. To to beat STM a couple times at Custer and get through the SODEC. Tremendous season, great group of athletes. Coach Harvey over there does an awesome job. They've been building, and they've got a great senior class too. Devin Bueller and Zane Messick and some of those kids that they have, great guards. Not a ton of size. I mean, kind of like us too. We don't have a lot of size, but those kids play hard. They get after it. They play basketball the right way, and it's really neat to see 2 Black Hills Conference schools here at the state tournament.
Yeah, no doubt. Hill City's playing Hamlin tomorrow night. Rapid City Christian's playing Clark Willow Lake, so 2 night games for the West River schools. One more, Coach. Sioux Falls Christian, they're the power. They're the team that everybody expects. So when you think about people say, well, Class A might have the best team in the whole state, what goes through your mind here as you prepare? You're not playing them, but Sioux Falls Christian is the talk.
Sioux Falls Christian is the talk, and they may have the argument to be the best team, in the state. They certainly have a lot of talent, tremendous program. But with the Goodberry brothers and Wassner brothers and just the guys that they bring off their bench are very impressive as well. A lot of talent. I think the nice thing for us is we had a chance to play them in the regular season.
Yeah.
And so I think that helps. I'll tell you, Hamlin's right there. I mean, Hamlin, Sioux Falls Christian, those two, met last year in the title game, and those two are the heavy favorites right now. Hamlin's a great basketball team too. But Class A, we talked about it before on your show. Class A is really loaded with a lot of great teams and some very good basketball at the Class A level.
Well, don't forget, you guys, I just had a sports writer on. He picked you to go to the state championship, Coach, so I think you're pretty good. You guys playing the underdog role, is there such a thing?
Yeah, we'll take the underdog role. We just like we said, we hope we can put 3 great days of basketball together, and it really matters what what your kids think, and I think our kids are coming in really believing that we have a shot if we can play great basketball. So
I look forward to it, Coach. It's going to be a fun tournament. Love the Class A tournament. Rapid City Christian's back there. The head coach done a nice job. Kyle Courtney on tonight. Good luck to you. Thanks a lot.
Nate, really appreciate it. Thank you much.
Thanks for stopping by. Kyle Courtney on tonight from the Denny, getting set for the State A boys basketball tournament. They play Clark Willow Lake. Rapid City Christian head boys basketball coach on the Pizza Ranch hotline. Yeah, it's going to be a great tournament. Going to be great tomorrow. Really, really good tournaments starting up in South Dakota. Let's do it. Who's hot and who's not? Every night at this time. It's brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Are you tired of your dog shredding your lawn or tracking in with muddy paws? Canine Grass by Forever Lawn is the high-performance artificial grass made specifically for dogs. Only the Canine Grass system has knitted backing for edge-to-edge drainage, antimicrobial blades, and no infill. Don't trap the waste and odors using any other turf. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you clean up after your dogs. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
I was the cool dad. My kids wanted me to take them to the mall. I didn't think anything about doing it in front of them, even though I knew it was illegal. Then my oldest started driving. Like father, like son. Gotta read that text right now. But he took a life, and now his is shattered too.
Addiction has many faces. Texting and driving when you know it's life-threatening and illegal can be one of them. Take back control. Put the phone down.
Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, the South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Mark your calendars. The 2025 Black Hills Home Builders Home Show is March 28th through the 30th at the Monument. Don't miss your chance to get inspired and take advantage of expert advice and exclusive deals. I'm Tom Chandler with WeatherTight Exteriors, inviting you to come connect with top-rated contractors. Explore the latest smart home solutions, check out eco-friendly materials, and transform your home. Visit BlackHillsHomebuilders.com today for more information and tickets. That's BlackHillsHomebuilders.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 25 tonight under clear skies, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. High temperatures reach up to 57. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Lows around 33. Tomorrow night, slight chance for mixed precipitation. Mainly clear Friday with highs in the upper 40s, chance for rain Saturday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 37 degrees.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show tonight on Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for being a part of the program, making this show possible. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, where it's always a great day in South Dakota. From local guests to national guests, we got you covered tonight. A reminder, hit the Nate Brown Show podcast if you miss any parts of the program. Previewed the NCAA tournament, previewed the state tournaments tonight. I'm excited for the weekend. We'll be off tomorrow because of state tournament basketball coverage on Fox Sports Radio. So we'll be off tomorrow. Let's do this. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Remember the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet at 3809 East 10th Street in Sioux Falls East. Also in Brandon, and 2 locations in Rapid City. That's your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. In my Who's Hot category tonight, I'm getting reports across the state that the state tournaments are bringing back the hospitality rooms. What are the hospitality rooms? This is a great thing. You get to go into these rooms. They're secret. Media, officials, people like this. You go into these rooms. They have endless brownies, sloppy joes. They have good stuff. And you meet people that you talk to the coaches. You talk to media personnel. They quit the hospitality rooms during the COVID days. And then they decided to just bag them. And I'm getting reports Sioux Falls brought it back. Aberdeen brought it back. Huron brought it back. How about Rapid City? I hope. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category tonight, okay, I don't like this. I hate this. The tournament starts tomorrow, NCAA. McNeese State is playing in the tournament. They're going to lose their head coach. He's already getting hired by North Carolina State, Will Wade. I mean, yes, he's going to coach McNeese State, but the reports are out he's going to leave. And they haven't even played their tournament game yet. Can't stand that. Good luck on your brackets. Good luck to the state tournament teams. Thanks for listening. The podcast going up right now.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.